So, what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about how you can become excellent or world-class at any particular skill. So, what sets the best against the rest? If we look at some of the people who've achieved some of the greatest things in society in the realm of sports, in the realm of science, art, politics, etc., why have they soared higher than everybody else? What has made them overcome the odds and become great? So, some would say talent, some would say it's to do with genetics, some would even say it's to do with luck. Well, listen up. I'm here to tell you that based on scientific studies from psychologists and sports scientists, that some of these qualities do actually play some sort of a role in that individual becoming excellent at what they do. But what if I was to tell you that excellence is open to everyone, no matter what your socio-economic background is or your disposition in life? Welcome to the place where you endeavor to keep your spirits high, where the sky's not the limit and the limit is definitely not the sky. Let's go!
¿Se fue? Por estar con la cámara no se sentó bien.
Right, so there are 4 key elements or 4 key rules that when applied can lead any one person to become an excellent at what they do. Now, you may not become world class or reach world class status, but you will definitely soar higher than the rest. So for rule number 1, I'm going to go over to the author of the book Outliers, Michael Gladwell.
So a group of really brilliant psychologists in the field of expertise research have sat down and tried to figure out how long do you have to work at something before you become really good, right? And the answer seems to be, it's an extraordinarily consistent answer in an incredible number of fields, and that is you need to have practiced, to have apprenticed for 10,000 hours before you get good. So every great classical composer, without exception, composes for at least 10 years before they write their masterwork.
Mozart, 10?
Mozart is composing at 11, but he's composing garbage at 11. I mean, he doesn't produce something great until he's 22 or 23. Concerto number 9, I think, 271. If I asked you, how long did it take you when you were doing this job before you felt comfortable and good at what you were doing?
10 years at least.
10 years, yeah. Same with me. I mean, it's an incredibly consistent finding, and it's really important because it's...
So what about child prodigies? Have they practiced for 10,000 hours in order to reach mastery? What you find in most cases with children is they've compressed astronomical amounts of hours into practice or amounts of time into practice prior to them reaching adolescence. Number 2, 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. So what do I mean when I say deliberate practice? What I basically mean is practicing something that you cannot do, breaching that gap between you not being able to do it to you being able to do it, and doing that over the span of 10,000 hours. So, to put it eloquently, world-class performance comes from striving for a target that is just out of reach with a vivid awareness of where the gap might be breached. So, it's a case of practicing what you cannot do continuously, which leads to an individual becoming greater than great or soaring better or being better than the rest. Excellence is about striving for something that is just out of reach and continuously doing it over and over and over again and making mistakes, grappling with tasks and failing over and over again with a temperament to keep on going. So in essence, progress is built upon necessary failure. That is the paradox of reaching the upper echelons of becoming excellent at what you do. Sounds difficult, right? That is the precise reason why excellence in our society is a rarity. So let me ask you a question. How many people do you know who are world class at what they do? So what you find over and over again with individuals that reach the echelons of excellence, that they push themselves beyond their limits, beyond their outer limits and capacities to engage in tasks so deeply that they literally leave a training session with new neural pathways engraved into their mind. Number 3, having access to the right training regime. This is probably one of the hardest steps to becoming excellent at what you do. The reason why that is because It means you have to be born in the right place at the right time and be connected to the right people and have access to the right technology. So you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have access to the correct training regime or learning materials, mentors, coaches, it's literally impossible to reach the realms of excellence. Number 4, the fourth and final step is what you find with a lot of people that have reached the echelons or the pinnacles of success is that they've evolved from unusual circumstances. So these unusual circumstances, they take advantage of, and it allows them to make sense of the world in ways that other people just cannot. The problem is we look at the end result. So we look at people like Usain Bolt, who runs 100 meters in lightning speed. We look at Conor McGregor, who knocks out somebody in less than 5 or 10 seconds. We look at Michael Jordan, who does a 360-degree move, and we compare these individuals to gods, or it's almost like they have godlike skills. But do we look into their past? Do we look at their past failures? Do we look at how hard they've had to work in order to reach that point? It's almost as if we compare them to people like us who haven't been through these processes. Excellence is a game of teams and relationships. Rarely does it fall on the shoulders of one single individual. No man is an island. If you look and you think you're going to be better than the rest and do it by yourself, it's just not going to happen. So, in summary, excellence is 10,000 hours of practice, 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, having access to the right training regime, and all of that culminates and connects with and puts you in a position where the usual meets the unusual. When those factors are put in place, literally learning takes off, knowledge expands, neural pathways are made in the brain, and the neural pathways are made stronger and the brain is made stronger. That individual is literally on the pathway to being excellent. Be good, be wonderful, but also be great. Until next time. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also leave a comment. Even if you're not watching it on YouTube, go over to YouTube, like and subscribe and leave a comment. You can also find me on social media. Yep, that's me, Ben Kofi. Just send me a request.